I went to school. After that, I did a 4-year study as a graphic designer. So I dove into the world of art and design, colors and shapes and all, and was very inspired by that. After that, I worked in that field shortly, and I decided that actually being on a screen almost all day, every day, which graphic design has become. Before it was more handwork, crafted and stuff, but it became very tool-oriented, which means on a laptop or on screens. And I decided that I didn't want that anymore, so I took a leap, a leap of faith, and I went on a journey, and I used my skills that I learned in the education, which were some design skills and some photography and videography skills, and I traveled over to Bali, right? So I grew up in Switzerland, traveled over to Bali, and I just tried to freelance my way through. It worked here and there, it didn't work here and there, we got through somehow. And eventually my personal development journey became a magnet for people. People started asking questions. How are you like you are, right? Like, how are you so calm? How are you always happy? You seem constantly okay. How do you do that? And I didn't really have an answer at the beginning, so I had to start journaling, and I journaled for years to really crystallize, what am I doing? How am I cleaning this world up, right? Because it was a mess in there. It sometimes still is, but it was a mess in there mainly. And through really digging deep and understanding what I did and what I do on a daily basis, I became capable of showing people. And that showing people turned into a coaching business, right? So I did an education as a life coach, and that was influenced by my yoga practice, by my breathwork experience, by my meditation practice. I studied under Dr. Joe Dispenza, which might be a term for some of you out there. And all of that took shape in like a coaching and mentorship business. And I started developing courses. I started doing life masterminds with people, or life coaching sessions with groups or one-on-one. And I did that throughout most of COVID, right? And sometimes I still took a design job. And then one day I started working with a beautiful human. His name's Shane Jeremy James. He is the founder of a brand called Actions of Compassion, and he's a business genius. He's worked with people from Shark Tank, for example, so he really knows how to work ethically and make big numbers. So I started working with him. He was my third mentor, especially in business. And out of that, something developed that I needed to find a lot of courage in me again to bring that forward, because it was like, what's my biggest dream, or what's my biggest vision, was the question. And the answer I couldn't shy away from anymore. It was to live in a world where veganism is treated as the normal, where most or all animals are being left in freedom, like you and I leave each other in freedom, right? And so I had to find a way to take everything that I've learned from design, from art, from photography, from my own management, because being the boss or the CEO of my online life coaching business, it didn't only come with, I'm going to coach you. No, it came with administration. It came with the background planning. It came with, I had to, arrange my calendar. I have to manage myself. So it was like a CEO activity on a small level, but it was CEO activity. So all of these skills that I learned, I was like, how can I put them in a shape that makes me create something that brings this dream closer to reality? And through that, the Freedom Quest was born.